Okay, so now we're continuing with the multiple test media lab. So here's the results. So first we have the IMViC. And I mentioned last week that IMViC is actually the initials of the tests you're going to be doing. Indole, methyl red, Voges Proskauer, and citrate. So today what we're doing is we're going to be adding the reagents to get the results. So to the I, we're adding 5 drops of Kovacs. The M, methyl red. The V takes 2 different things, and the V is a little bit different. You're going to see as soon as we add the reagents, you get your result. The only one that's different is the V. You're going to add 5 drops of the 2 reagents, the alpha-naphthol and the creatine. You're going to shake really hard for a minute, and then you're going to wait 20 minutes to get the answer. For the citrates, you just look at them. Dodger blue would be a positive. If you remember, they were green last week. Check your video. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add the reagents and just show you what a typical IMViC looks like. Remember, you take your tubes and you spell out IMViC first. Then we start adding the reagents. So I'm going to add 5 drops. So to the I, I'm adding Kovacs. And you don't shake these, you just look at them. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and shake it for a minute on camera, but I just want to show you, this is how you shake the V. You shake it really hard for a minute. After a minute, you're going to loosen the lid and wait 20 minutes. So let's see what happened. So our I, if it was positive, you would see a pink layer floating. There's no pink layer floating, so that's not positive. The M has a nice red layer, so that is positive. So far we have a positive M, a negative I. Here's the V is not peachy pink, so that's a negative. Then we look at the C is green, so that's a positive. So what we have is negative, positive, negative, positive. So that actually tells you your bacteria is called C. frundii. That's not the one we're that interested in. For our lab final, you're interested in E. coli, which is positive, positive, negative, 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 and the exact opposite is E. aerogenes. So these are definitely on the lab final. Everything today is on the lab final. Next up is TSIA. The way you read a TSIA slant is you start at the bottom. And if you remember from last time, I said there's 4 different tests that you're doing. You start at the bottom, you look at the butt. The bottom of the tube is called the butt. What color is it? Is it yellow or is it red? If it's yellow, you say acid. If it's red, you say alkaline. Next, you look at the slant. What color is the slant? You do the same thing, acid or alkaline. The other things you're looking for is sulfur. If you see black in the tube, it's sulfur. If you see gas, a lot of times it actually lifts the plug up a little bit. So I have a couple of examples here. Here's one. If you were to read this one, it would be acid butt, alkaline slant, because it's red. I don't see any black, no sulfur, no gas. And I don't know if you can see this one, but see a little bit of black in there? So this one would be acid butt, acid slant, positive for sulfur, negative for gas. So basically the question on the final is, how do you read a TSIA slant? You start at the bottom, work your way up. The last one is the SIM. And that is testing for 3 things. For sulfur, which will turn it black. Indole, we'll be adding the Kovacs reagent. And then motility, is it cloudy? So I have an example here of one. So this one here is nice because it's black, so it's sulfur. It's cloudy because it's black, so it's all cloudy. That means the bacteria swam around the tube. When you add Kovacs, it's negative. So it doesn't have the cherry layer on top, but it does have the other two. So again, they're independent tests. It just depends on which bacteria you use to get those results. Okay.